Well, if you ever wanted a sign that the Vince McMahon era from WWE is gone, this very well may be it. This is the nail in the coffin. Because I got to tell you, I am under the firm believer that if Vince McMahon were still around and running the show, this would never happen. I mean, he would never allow this to happen, even though it makes good business sense. Well, for one company at least, this never would have been allowed to happen under Vince's watch. We got a press release January 16th. WWE, part of TKO Holdings and TNA Wrestling, one of the world's top wrestling brands and a subsidiary of Anthem Sports and Entertainment Group, today announced a multi-year partnership aimed at creating unprecedented crossover opportunities within WWE and TNA programming for NXT superstars and TNA wrestling stars. The agreement will enable talent to garner additional exposure across key WWE and TNA programming, including weekly flagship shows such as NXT, which airs live on the CW, and TNA Impact. Notice they don't mention Access TV here. Select WWE premium live events and TNA pay-per-views, in turn bolstering their in-ring development with exposure to world-class talent and coaching. This historic relationship demonstrates the collaboration and competition, or that collaboration and competition do not have to be mutually exclusive, said Ariel Scher, Vice President of Content and Distribution for TNA Wrestling and Anthem Sports and Entertainment. Goes on to say, our partnership allows the TNA Wrestling brand and its incredible athletes to reach a significantly wider audience while giving WWE and NXT stars an opportunity to cross the line. See what you did there? That's nice. And gain valuable experience in professional wrestling today. Or excuse me, as they join forces with one of the most talented rosters in professional wrestling today. This is unprecedented, guys. Let me see here. The response to our collaboration over the past year has been tremendous, and both companies have benefited. I really don't think TNA has benefited from it, but okay. I mean, they need a new TV deal. They need to get the heck off Access TV. But anyway, let's continue on here. But the fans have reaped the greatest rewards from talent crossover working relationship. We look forward to growing and evolving our partnership with TNA Wrestling and its outstanding group of athletes by creating new opportunities to further the development of our talent and to elevate, I think that means, elevate the viewer experience at home, said Vice President of Talent Development Shawn Michaels. Former TNA Knockout World Champion Jordan Grace and Joe Hendry frequently appeared on NXT programming in 2024, highlighted by an NXT Championship match featuring Hendry and Ethan Page at No Mercy, an NXT Women's Championship match featuring Grace and Roxanne Perez at Battleground. Many NXT superstars also crossed the line into TNA, including Wesley's short-lived reunion with the Rascals, Charlie Dempsey and the No Quarter Catch Crew, Riley Osborne, Dante Chen, Gallus, Ariana Grace, Tatum Baxley, Izzy Dame, Wendy Chu, Brentley Reese, and more. Okay, now they go on to say the TNA Impact airs on Access and TV and TNA Plus in the U.S., in addition to being blah, 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 blah. So this right here, again, I don't see how this benefits TNA unless TNA can get a better television deal than what they have. Yes, I know that they own the network that they're on. I know that they don't really have to be in a big hurry to get off that network. But one thing is for sure. This is not going to help either brand unless TNA gets to can reach a wider audience. I don't know what the exact amount of homes that get NXT or get a TNA is, but I know that on my cable system, on Comcast where I live at, you got to go pretty far down the channel guide to find Access TV. And TNA Plus isn't exactly setting the world on fire either. So, and now as far as people like within TNA goes, yes, this is an opportunity for them to get looked at more than what they already have officially. I think what you see here is WWE expanding their developmental program. Um, they have NXT, which is their developmental program. It's on broadcast television here in the U.S. So it's a huge opportunity for TNA stars like a Joe Hendry, Jordan Grace, who I believe Jordan Grace is going to end up getting signed full time by NXT, and this gives her a way to keep going back and forth, to TNA. But Joe Hendry, let's face it, I've said this before, I do not believe in Joe Hendry because Joe Hendry is nothing without that theme song. He is absolutely, you take away that theme song and you have generic CAW from, create a wrestler, Joe Bob, you know, Joe Bob. It's just, you have Joe Bob if you take away that theme song. You know, so I I don't think this benefits NXT or benefits TNA as much as it does NXT. It gives NXT a feeder system. Um, that's all there is to it. Now they could take the NIL people and use TNA as a way to train up the NIL guys, along with being at the Performance Center. Also, it could, it gives NXT people a chance, like they said right there, Charlie Dempsey, Ariana Grace, Wes Lee. They all benefit from going and appearing in front of a different audience and seeing what it's like to appear in front of somebody other than the same 50 people or, 150 people that show up to a random parking lot and board a tour bus to the Performance Center every Tuesday. I've said it from, look at when NXT went to St. Louis and went to, Chicago and all this. You're not, setting attendance records by any means, but they're getting out in front of a new audience. TNA, people who were with TNA have said that their number one biggest thing that kept them from being bigger than what they were is not being able to get out of Orlando and not being able to get out of Universal Studios because you're not performing in front of wrestling fans there. What fans did show up week after week after week got stale after a while, and you're performing in front of people who were just looking to get into some air conditioning for the day or for the night. That's all it was. TNA obviously now is they're making moves next year, man. This also benefits them because they're running that USB arena or UBS, whatever it's called, UBS arena up in New York and Long Island. They got to pack that sucker. So they gotta find stars to pack it with because right now nobody in TNA is really catching my eye, as they say. But I see this as far more beneficial to NXT because they can cherry. This basically gives them a legal way to poach talent from TNA. It really does. Not poaching talent as to let's sign this person before their contract is up, but it's a way to do it legally and evaluate. It really is. Notice how they said NXT people. So you're not going to be seeing people like a Roman Reigns going down to a TNA show. But never say never in the wrestling business because, as we know, stranger things have happened. Let me know what you guys think about this in this partnership in the comments below, and we will see you down the road.